Hello guys, welcome to another video. So this was a driving test at Barking Test Center on the 5th of November 2021, and it took place at 13 minutes past 7 in the morning. So the test was a fail, and that was because the learner had failed herself before she even got failed by the examiner. So I posted a video some weeks ago, and I said in that video, I said, don't fail yourself, or don't assume you failed until you've actually finished your test. Because sometimes learners make mistakes and you start to worry so much about that mistake, and you think that you failed, and then from that point you just forget yourself, you just drive with less care, and you're thinking so much about what you thought you've done wrong that would have failed you. But in reality, you actually haven't failed yet. But because of that mindset, you end up failing. And that's why the learner failed this test. So let's watch on and see what happened and where it happened. Getting to our first junction on the test, the learner turned right, but then she drove mostly on the right lane. That's the lane for oncoming vehicles. So see the bus stop on the left with the yellow box. So there is the bus stop, but not a bus lane. And she drove over the chevron into the right lane and only started to come back to the left after the bus stop had ended. A bus lane is divided or signified by the thick white lines, and you would have the bus lane sign on your left on one of the poles just before the entrance. So only if that bus stop is within a bus lane, then that's when you avoid it. After passing this vehicle here on the left, now the learner could have gone back to the left lane, but she remained slightly over the right lane for a long amount of time. Now the bus was about to move off anyways, and even if the bus wasn't moving off yet, she should have come back to the left just in case there are oncoming vehicles who needed to use their lane. Remember, it's their priority, it's their lane. If you're going to go and advance into that lane, at least get closer a bit more just until it's a perfect time to go. So anticipation in that situation was good. She anticipated for that bus, which is why she'd keep it to the right. But what she should have done is keep just on the left of that white line, not over it. And when she gets close enough, then she can go out into that lane, past the bus, and come back in. Now, she went over it too early. So good anticipation, bad judgment. Now here is what failed the learner, guys. You see this silver van to the right of the learner's car. This was what she failed to observe and realize. So remember, why we're at traffic lights or in traffic, use your side mirrors so that you know what is around you. So watch as they drove off here. Now when they drove off, Lena started to drive into the right lane towards the van, and examiner pulled her back. So I'm sure we all know by now she had failed at that point, right? But what if I told you she wasn't actually failed for that situation? Yes, you heard me right. She was not failed at that point, and she hasn't failed yet, but she had failed herself because in her mind she had already failed. So she was just thinking about the situation, pondering over the fact that she had failed, and then through all of that, she started to drive over the speed limit on the road she was driving on after the traffic light. And this is why she was failed. She was failed for overspeeding, guys, not even that situation, right? So guys, please relax. No matter what the situation you've come through on your test, just keep calm and finish your test. This is all I'm saying, and this is all I'm asking. Examiners are nice people. Whether they're smiling or frowning, they are still going to be there to mark you based on what you've done, based on what they've seen. And they would calculate things. They don't just make 1 + 1. They consider things around you. They consider the situations. They consider your driving. Prior to that time, I say this a lot, it's not just one situation that determines everything. Examiners consider every other things around, so please guys, just relax. Don't be the learner, the candidate, and also the examiner. You can't be all of it. That's why a lot of tests go into a fail. So at this point, the test had come to an end, and they're now getting to the roundabout and making a U-turn to get back to the test center. So by the end of the test, there were 2 minors, 2 for lane positioning, normal driving, and then there was a serious for speed, which occurred after the roundabout situation. So remember guys, please, and please again, relax yourself. Don't predetermine or presume or assume or even start marking yourself on your test instead of just relaxing and focusing on what matters most, which is driving and looking ahead of you, planning. Look at your mirrors, check around, use your interior mirrors, and remember, bus stops are not bus lanes, only if the bus stop is within the bus lane. And even if you're coming across bus lanes, you should be looking out for the time. Alright? And when passing vehicles, remember to come back fully into your lane. If you're going to come towards a bus at a bus stop and you can see it ahead of you and you're planning to it, remember, keep to the left of the center line. So what I'm trying to say is keep as much as possible to the right hand side of your lane, but don't go over the line until it's safe to do so, or until you're actually close enough to the vehicle you're trying to overtake or the bus you're trying to overtake, and there is safe opportunity to do that and there are no oncoming vehicles, then you can do that. So beware, these are little things that could end up into a serious fault on your test. So bear it in mind guys, and this was really it, and at this point test was ended now, and that was the end of the test. So if you look, it was at about 12 minutes into the video. So this test lasted for about 12 minutes before they started making their way back. So one last thing to take away from this test is, like I used to say to all of my learners, because an examiner touched or touches your steering wheel doesn't mean you failed yet. And because an examiner has not touched your steering or has not used the brake does not either mean that you've passed. So thanks for watching, guys, and remember to click the like button, share, comment, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button. And thank you for watching. So again, I'm going to see you guys in the next video.